So a little bit about UCSC Silicon Valley Extension. We are the professional development arm of our main campus, which is the University of California, Santa Cruz. But we are located in Santa Clara, right here in the heart of Silicon Valley. We offer over 300 courses in different modalities, including in person, online, and flexible. And in the flexible courses, the instructor is always in the classroom, but the students have the option to join them in person or attend remotely. So we get people from all over, which is really great. We have a wide range of topics that we cover at UCSC Extension. Everything from, of course, education to AI to data science, business, bioscience, and much, much more. And one of the greatest things about UCSC Extension is our professionals are working professionals. So they're out there, they're in the field, they're doing the job, and they're coming here as their passion to learn and to teach and to give back to the community. And so all of our instructors have an industry background, and their goal is to provide you with the tools and skills you need to succeed in the educational therapy environment. And now I'd like to do just a quick poll just to see where everybody's coming from. Here we go. All right, and this will help us tonight. So are you joining us? Is your interest as a parent, as a teacher, as an administrator, or maybe another professional? Right. All right. Perfect. A lot of other. The Q&A is going to be great. Thank you very much for sharing. There we go. All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the program chair, Sharmila Roy. She's an educational therapist with more than 30 years of experience in special education. Her work centers on neurodiversity and creating equitable learning opportunities for students with learning disabilities, ADHD, and autism. Specializing in K through 7 interventions, Dr. Roy focuses on multisensory mathematics learning and executive functional skills, and she chairs the educational therapy certificate program here and maintains a private practice in the San Francisco Bay Area. So welcome, Sharmila. The floor is yours.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so pleased that you made the time to join us and find out more about our neat little program, actually. I think we're all very proud of how it's doing and the fact that our students go out well prepared for the field and get excellent placements from the networking opportunities that we provide, as well as the Association of Educational Therapists. Can we have the first slide? And we'll do a quick agenda review. We'll go through it in general, but we have a good section for Q&A. So I'll go through the points that are on the agenda slide, and then you'll have a good time. If you think of a question, please put it in the chat. And at the end, we can also have a session where you can ask verbal questions. Next slide. So this is to ask you a question. You can give a verbal response or you can write it in the chat. What inspires you to become an educational therapist? And what do you hope to achieve? You can unmute yourself and give us an answer, or you can put it in the chat. Anyone? All of us. There you go. I hear you, Krista. So many teachers in the program are flocking actually to get more skills for students that they know are in their classrooms and learn differently. And public schools are in trouble with special education, as we know. And we'll talk a little bit about how that will affect the educational therapy field in general. And the impact is a positive one, because when programs are canned like that by funding, then parents still have to provide an appropriate education for their students. And that's where educational therapy can be used in a positive manner. Some of you might also want to know, what is educational therapy, you know? Educational therapy is 3 hats molded into 1 hat. So you are a teacher, you are a mentor, and you are a coach. So the field actually covers the child, the student, not just from their academic requirements, which may be affected by their background, their ability to learn, their socioeconomic status, and so on and so forth. So next slide, please. We know now in education through psychology and through neuroscience that nobody learns the same. Each person's strengths in learning and areas that are still developing are well known now in the literature. There's been a recent study out of the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, which says that adolescence actually lasts until the age of 32. So go figure. Everything is changing, parameters are changing, education is changing. And students with learning disabilities and students with maybe they're twice exceptional, they are very, very bright in some areas and face challenges in others. And it is up to us as educators to give them the best opportunity to be the best version of themselves. And that's what educational therapists do on a daily basis. Next slide, please. So you can call us specialized educators. We are not education specialists. Education specialists do a lot of testing and evaluations. We are people who look at the abilities and the needs of every individual student who comes to us, and we provide a one-on-one model of remediation, of intervention, of careful, meticulous planning. And our program has been approved by the Association of Educational Therapists. So we have a sequence of courses that fulfill the requirements for the associate level of membership at, so you will be actually a certified educational therapist once you pass, you graduate all our program and then apply to AET. So you'll be on the fast track to become an associate member. We have quite a few required courses, so it's a rigorous certificate program. And we start out with the principles of educational therapy. What is it? What are its ethics? What are the laws that govern us? What are our responsibilities to the community? And so on and so forth. Assessments, educational assessments form a huge part of an educational therapist's work because students frequently come with psychoeducational assessment reports, which for those of you who are familiar with them, are pages and pages and pages of text and numbers. And I think that to decipher them and understand how this student learns best, and thereby designing a curriculum in the area of difficulty that the student then understands, learns, and is able to move forward. So we have 2 assessment courses. First is an introduction to assessments. The second part is actually administering educational assessments and writing reports and reading reports and deciphering them. Structured literacy is based on reading abilities. So dyslexia and other print dysgraphia and other print-based difficulties that the whole definition of dyslexia has changed of late in California. So you're updated. All the courses are updated to meet the current legislation in California and nationally. We also have one course for strategies for learning differences in mathematics, and it covers a wide variety of the reasons behind difficulties with math and also practical strategies of how to remediate difficulties that students have. The cognitive and perceptual techniques course is exactly what it says, that you bring in a lot of movement and analysis into your planning for your students to give them breaks, how to use cognitive strategies and executive function strategies to help students learn better. And at the very end, your capstone or the practicum will involve you working with students one-on-one and providing remediation in the areas of need, which could be writing, it could be especially essay writing. Then it could be something like student is having difficulty with fractions or with algebra, and so on and so forth. Very particular difficulties. Some students need more attention with their planning and organization. So with your assessments and the information from teachers and parents, you kind of triangulate the information and do the best for the student on a one-on-one basis. So it's a great model, time-tested, very positive outcomes. So I was thrilled when I found this. It was a wonderful way for me also to update my skills, even though I had been in the classroom for a very long time. Next slide, please. Our instructors are top-notch. Each one is a leader in their field. Some of them have made significant contributions to the field of educational therapy. They all present at conferences and keep up with the research and give you time-tested, excellent tips and takeaways, actionable strategies that you can use right away. And Dr. Pirayesh teaches the principles of ed therapy. Diana Kennedy, she teaches BCET, by the way, stands for Board Certified Educational Therapist, and ET/P is Educational Therapist at the professional level. So the highest level is, of course, board certified. John Fleming he is just a wizard, a marvelous educational therapist who brings all of his really tactile strategies, kinesthetic strategies into the classroom. And he teaches the cognitive and perceptual techniques class. Kara Scanlon teaches the two assessment classes. Diana teaches the structured literacy. Next slide. I teach the strategies for learning differences in mathematics, and I also teach the practicum, which is 5 credits and almost a quarter long, little longer than a full quarter. I also teach an elective, which is the management of a clinical practice. It gives you nuts and bolts of how to set up a private practice. And also along with that, what are the ethics? What are the principles that govern us? What are the boundaries of ed therapists? What we can do and what we cannot do, such as we cannot diagnose a learning disability. We can describe it, we can recognize it, we can find a way to to instruct that individual, but we definitely cannot diagnose any kind of learning difficulty. Next slide, please. What's new and what's important? We have two great workshops coming up. One is in the area of math. So you are taken from, let's say, about fifth grade to high school, and how to work with students that have dyscalculia or who struggle with math. No diagnosis. About half your classroom of a public school teacher has students who are struggling with math. And if you, once the info session is over, if you go to the website, it gives you a lot of information about individual courses, who teaches them, and what is their content. The nice thing is, because we are a professionally oriented program, you can take courses at will, meaning it's open enrollment. You can enroll at any time. And you can also enter the field already as a practitioner and leave it as a better practitioner with some creds, because then you'll have a UC certificate and the Association of Educational Therapies stamp, and you'll really, be a professional. So if you really like the field, you're kind of working with students already, you're tutoring or you're classroom teacher, you're looking for another pathway, maybe. We also have our program is linked to the Masters in Educational Therapy program at Notre Dame in Belmont, Notre Dame Namur University. And I do believe that they take all of our credits, and what you need to do is a few more classes and their final, and you get a master's degree. So that's also open to you as you go along in the program. What else is new? I've already said that the field is expanding, and it is going to expand further because of what is happening in the administration. Next slide, please. So I would, of course, for those of you who are seriously thinking of becoming a therapist, or even thinking, okay, what is ed therapy? Let me find out. This is the best course that is coming up with Dr. Pirayesh. It starts in a month, and it really provides the basis, and you'll do all the groundwork for creating who are ed therapists, how do you get a professional identity, what are the standards of an educational therapist, and then of course we have a textbook, so you go through the ethics and legal responsibilities, and then she also talks about some basic skills that you need to be. It's very different from being a tutor, very different from being a classroom teacher. The whole lens changes from being one of, I have to teach a group, versus I have to teach this person one-on-one, figure them out. It's like every student is a lock, and you have to find the right key. You have a bunch of keys, you have a toolkit, but which one is the right fit? And I think the principles of ed therapy gives you a foundation for what the profession does, what it is able to achieve, and the incredible potential to influence lives. Next slide, please. There you go. And we are here at questions. I saw some people putting questions in the chat, but all right.
The first question is, what are the prerequisites?
The prerequisites is, this is a post-baccalaureate degree. If you have a teaching credential, or if you have a bachelor's degree in an allied field such as psychology or education. You've been working with students as a substitute teacher for a long time. You work in a private school and you want to get credentialed, or so many scenarios. But basically, if you have a bachelor's degree in an allied field, it would help you. But if you don't have it and you have, let's say you have a bachelor's degree in business administration and now you want to switch, that is also possible because we provide 2 or 3 starter courses, excuse me. And once you take those, they provide the basis for which you can start taking the required courses. So there are several people who have come in from the engineering field. We've had students who flipped from Google to becoming ed therapists, and very rewarding careers they have right now. They keep in touch. So yeah, the background is your passion, your interest in seeing that students get good education, and your desire really to jump in feet first into the field. I think it's the best job in the world. And you're your own boss, you know? Next question.
All right. If you have a question, go ahead and put them in the chat, or you can unmute your mic and ask your questions directly. Maybe Sharmila, what are the best things about being an educational therapist, and maybe what are are there any drawbacks?
The benefits, the pluses are many, many. If you are in a full-time job, and I've done all this, so that's why it's coming from a place of experience. If you have a full-time job, ed therapy can be your side gig. So you have the safety net of a full-time job and benefits, and you do this until you're ready to transition into a full-time role as an ed therapist. There are many, many teachers who do that. Believe me, more and more teachers are doing this. Secondly, you're your own boss. You set your times. So I know sometimes I joke that it's like being a Lyft driver or an Uber driver. You set your time on and off. There are people who work weekends. There are people who don't work weekends. There are people who work in the mornings and afternoons and no evenings. There are people who start at 4 o'clock and go on till 9 p.m. So it really is what your expertise is, what age level you want to work with, and your available time. When I started out, I worked Saturdays and Sundays. That was my available time. So I worked on Saturdays and a half day on Sundays. So it just really depends on what you want to achieve from this. What are some, I can only think of one minus, which is that it can be isolating unless you're a good networker, which is why the Association of Educational Therapists is great, because it provides the cohort, the consulting availability, and a real community that will support you.
Excellent. Next question. How exactly does, I guess, the certificate distinguish itself from a master's degree in school psychology? Is there a licensure prospect?
There is no license. This is school psychology is kind of totally different to the neuropsych reports that we usually see, recommending educational accommodations or adjustments that the student will need. You're kind of on the other side of the fence, where you are advocating for your student, getting accommodations, and being at IEP meetings with the knowledge of the student's abilities. So no, there is no licensure. The master's in educational therapy gives you just that. It gives you a master's in ed therapy. It's not licensure, no.
All right. Is there any support with finding a student to complete the practicum? And
Yes,
is teletherapy an option?
teletherapy is very much an option. Yes. You will have a mentor from the program, one of our instructors, to help you complete the practicum. And frequently, they are sources of finding students that you can work with. You can work with adults too, you know. It just doesn't have to be a K through 12 student.
Great. All right. What would be the cost of the program?
Jim, that you're the best person to say.
Roughly $5,000. Most of the classes, there's 7 required classes and then the capstone. And so most of the classes are about 600, 650. And the capstone, I believe, is 890 or 900. So roughly $5,000 to complete the program. Are transfer credits accepted into the program? We do allow one transfer to the certificate program. I can't speak to the degree program, but to the certificate program at UCSC Extension, you can transfer one course into the program, as long as it's equivalent to one of the courses we already have. Right. Any other questions? Going. All right. Let's see what's next here. What do we got there, Sharmila?
Oh, wow. So you have all of the assistive technology. Understanding learning differences is an important class to take if you don't have a background in learning disabilities. And that is also taught by Dr. Pirayesh, and she does an overview of the law of the 14 types of learning differences that are recognized in the state of California, etc., etc. What are they, what their symptoms are. The assistive technology for LD, for learning differences, is now I mean, it should be really a required course because it's not even assistive anymore. It's technology in the classroom. Every classroom now has so much technology, and teachers kind of need to be aware of the specialized extensions that are available for students who have a tough time with their schoolwork. The reading, yes, okay. Oh yes, Jim, thank you. So here we go. 2 innovation workshops. These are people who are uh, literally coming up with new ideas and new strategies. So Beth Powell is a math specialist, and she works in clinics all over the Bay Area, from Napa, San Francisco to San Jose, and up in Gilroy as well. So she is going to be doing I don't know, 5-hour workshop, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
and she will cover math difficulties for students in middle and high school. And I can guarantee you she's been a guest lecturer in my math class, and she's good. You will want to hear that, and you will want to know more about it. Diana Kennedy is an ace at her work. She is very well established in the field in Marin, and informal assessments are the way that most ed therapists practice. They do quick, reliable, informal assessments of students so that they know, okay, this is where the student's functioning at, and this is where I need to start my work with this person. So she will be working on informal assessments. It's a very important topic in the field. So both of them I highly recommend.
All right. And that brings us to the end. Well, check this out, though. In
Yes.
what ways has AI influenced this field, the jobs within it, and related areas? Great
Oh my
question.
goodness, this is a hot topic. AI, we are being very cautious about letting AI into our work. It is extremely helpful for many of our students who find it difficult to write and read. But the pitfalls are that you do stop thinking for yourself and solving problems and being able to analyze, think critically. So, yes, for planning, I would say for an educational therapist, AI is great because it reduces your planning time. Also, let me tell you, ChatGPT comes up with great math problems. So, suppose my interest is in baking, and I feed it a prompt saying, okay, I want a word problem about making pecan pie. And it will come up with something or based on ratios or whatever it is that I want. And it comes up with it. Or I might ask it to do something else based on someone else's interest. So manga or anime, and it comes up with wonderful, wonderful. So it's good for therapists, yes. But for our students, be incredibly careful when you're using it. So it has influenced this field, but our field is not going to be replaced by AI because we rely on human connection. We build relationships that go beyond um, just the academics. Sometimes students stay with you for 3, 4 years, and you really get to know them as people and their families. So it's not so easy to walk out, and it's not as impersonal as, let's say, taking a college class. It does have more meaning. So, yeah. Is ed therapy covered by insurance companies? No, but Association of Educational Therapists has a program, a company that will provide you with umbrella insurance and disability insurance and accident insurance. So they have actually talked to an insurance company. So if you take that management of clinical practice class, we talk about insurance in that one. Oh, how much does it typically cost for clients? It's out of pocket and it's expensive. It depends um, on your qualifications, experience. So let me give you an example. In San Jose or Cupertino, a typical session would cost about $225 to $250. Anywhere between $125 to $225 an hour. Yes, LCSWs can apply to the program. There are many folks who have gone through this program like you.